Hey y'all, Courtney, aka the OKS Trail Runner. I'm here giving you training tips, race reports, and a little bit of info on Colorado trails as I'm here running in this beautiful state. I'm here today to give you a race report for the Leadville Marathon. I think that the 100-miler gets a lot of love, but not so much the marathon. So hopefully you'll find this video really informative. I really hope to tell you a little bit about the town, where to stay, where to eat, what the packet pickup was like, what the expo was like, but of course, a ton of detail around the course, what it actually feels like to run at 10,000 feet and even higher, all the way up to 13,000 feet. Again, you know, how technical is the course, how rocky is it, a little bit about my training, and then of course I'll give a recap afterwards. So stay tuned for more, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow on race day. See ya. All right, first update, just past the 5K, going uphill, like most of this race has been so far. There was just a really nice roundable downhill after the first aid station. Some people were going really fast. I'm like, I don't know how their quads are gonna do later in this race, but well, good luck to them. So I'll check in as soon as I have breath to. See you. Checking in for mile, I think 4 3/4. It's just been a total grind. Like almost 2,000 feet of climbing in 5 miles. Should be about 2,000. Humbling experience, but also good to know we're almost a third of the way done with the climbing. So that's encouraging. We're gonna make it. See ya. All right, a little past mile 5 somewhere. Nice big, long-awaited downhill. Pretty runnable. I'm feeling good. Knowing that a third of the climbing is done is nice. Next up is climbing Mosquito Pass. So I'll check in if I can. Almost at the top of Mosquito Pass. So we could almost be there. It's been a hell of a climb. We're making it. Beautiful views. Hey there. I think I'm for mile 18-ish. Part of the last biggest climb, I guess. Made it through Mosquito Pass. So I was proud on my performance on the up. Rather, well, not disappointed, but I guess it was expected. My downhill game on that rocky stuff was not great. So I feel like I literally picked up no time on the downhills. But I kind of expected that. I know that's my weak point. So I'm gonna do what I can here in the last like 8 miles, 8 to 10 miles, and we'll see the finish line. All right, time for the final recap from the Leadville Marathon. I am not dialing in from Leadville. This is actually Telluride. I am here volunteering for Hard Rock, so more videos to come on that in case you're interested. But I'm here on the Wasatch Trail, just a beautiful view, and I thought this was a great place to tell you a little bit about my experience with the race. So first, let me just talk generally about the race logistics, how everything is organized. Of course, Lifetime puts on phenomenal events. The check-in process was amazing. The expo had a ton of great gear and free samples. Had no issues at all getting my bib, finding parking in the town for the day before the race. It was just truly phenomenal. I gotta say that overall the temperatures this year were pretty warm. There wasn't much snow at the top of Mosquito Pass at all, and overall I got pretty warm later into the race. It was really hot at the expo, really hot after the race. So just given how things are kind of going with climate stuff, maybe just be ready to be hot for the race, which is not how it used to be. You used to have to be concerned about snow, but that's definitely something to note. It's definitely burning up at the expo. Race morning, it was a little chilly in the morning, but I didn't really need a jacket. I just opted for long sleeves. That worked out really well for me. I also decided to not wear a full pack. I decided to wear my waist belt just because the aid stations were pretty close together. There was an aid station just about every 3 to 5 miles or so throughout the course, and that served me really well. I felt like I was lighter on my feet instead of carrying the 2 heavy bottles sloshing around. So I'm really glad that I made that decision. I carried a little bit of my own nutrition, but I also researched what they had. They had scratch products at the aid station, which I do really well with. So I really enjoyed that and felt that my nutrition was on point, even eating a good majority of my calories at the aid stations. I also really enjoyed the scratch electrolytes that they had. I always carry salt tabs, especially, when you're dealing with something where it's going to be warmer, you're at higher elevation, always a good idea. But I did really well with the scratch electrolyte drink as well. And, we kind of mix a 50-50 with water into the race later on when I was looking for something kind of less sweet and flavorful tasting. As far as the race itself, how challenging was it? I gotta say the hikes was about what I expected. There were some times when I had to go hands on knees hiking, which was a little bit surprising to me. I consider myself a really strong hiker, but just the length of the climbs was really, really challenging. So for any of you who are training for this race, I highly encourage you, practice hiking up a big hill if you have one near your house where you live, or if you could get to one, or do a ton of treadmill hiking and Stairmaster work. I found that served me really, really well. So I was able to just power up the climbs. I felt strong on all of them, even when it was getting hotter. Just highly recommend you integrate that into your training if you're not used to longer climbs. Then the only other thing is that I saw a lot of people bombing downhills early in the race, and then coming down from Mosquito Pass and later into the race, I saw a lot of people cramping up. So just as long as the uphills are, the downhills are also really long. So I highly recommend that, not only do you work on leg strength, don't skip leg day, but don't bomb the downhills early in this race, especially if this is something kind of new to you, these long ups and downs. Just definitely make sure that you're prepared for that. Overall, I thought the aid stations were phenomenal. The crowd going up at the aid station right before Mosquito Pass was just incredible. I love seeing people there, people holding up signs. There was really great energy. Obviously, amazing energy at all the aids at the finish line, and the photos were really phenomenal. I got 55 photos from this race, to the point where I was almost getting tired of doing something fun for the photographers, right? I got some glamorous and not so glamorous photos. So anyways, the photography is really on point. Overall, I had just such a phenomenal experience at this race. They did a phenomenal job just really making you feel welcome, making it feel exciting, like you're really part of something bigger than you. It's a great introduction to Leadville in the area, especially if you're looking to do the 100 someday, or if you just want the experience of doing the hardest marathon in the US. So I hope this race report was helpful. I hope you found the footage really helpful so you could see what the course looked like. You know, it wasn't super technical. The hardest part for me was running down from Mosquito Pass, where there was just a bunch of loose rock, but overall the rest of it was mostly double track, wide dirt road. So for somebody like me who doesn't love technical, it's also not a bad race. I would still recommend wearing trail shoes. I saw some people wearing maybe more of a gravel shoe or a hybrid shoe. I think you could get away with a road shoe though. So, you know, just some things to think about if you're training for this race. Again, I hope this was helpful. Please like and subscribe for more.